It is mid-afternoon on the Senate floor. A bill sits ready for a vote. Everything moves toward resolution, and then a single senator rises and begins to speak. Hours pass. The senator is still speaking. Nothing in the formal rules requires them to stop. They may continue through the evening, through the night, on any subject they choose. This is not a procedural trick. This is the Senate operating as designed. Underneath this scene lies a structural fact that few pause to notice. The Senate has no default rule limiting debate. In the House of Representatives, every bill receives a fixed window of time. Debate is rationed. Speakers take turns on a schedule. The work advances by constraint. The Senate made a different choice. It operates on the assumption of unlimited debate. A senator may hold the floor and speak for as long as they wish. This is not a special privilege granted to rare circumstances. This is the chamber's native state. This tradition runs centuries deep. When the Senate was smaller, the thinking went thorough discussion mattered more than speed. Debate itself was the point. But unlimited debate creates a problem. It permits obstruction. A determined minority can talk indefinitely, preventing a vote. The Senate's answer arrived in the form of a single procedural gate called cloture. Any senator may file a cloture motion. This triggers a vote on whether debate should end. If 60 senators vote yes, discussion stops and a final vote follows. The threshold is deliberate. 60 votes is not a simple majority. It is a supermajority. It means that 40 senators, less than half, can block the ending of debate and thus block the bill itself, even if that bill would pass with 51 votes. A substantial minority holds a veto over time. This is the mechanism often called a filibuster, though the name is imprecise. The filibuster is not the speech itself. It is the right to speech without limit. A senator threatening obstruction is invoking the Senate's permission to consume debate time indefinitely. The obstruction lies not in what they say, but in how long they are permitted to use. In practice, this has evolved. Modern senators rarely remain on the floor for hours, droning on about nothing. The outcome is predictable once the math becomes clear. A senator signals their intention to filibuster, to withhold cloture votes, and the majority leader adjusts the calendar accordingly. The actual prolonged speech, once common, now appears rarely because everyone understands the consequences without witnessing them. There is one significant exception to the 60-vote rule. Between 2013 and 2017, the Senate lowered the cloture threshold for most presidential nominations, cabinet officials, federal judges, and eventually Supreme Court justices, to a simple majority of 50 votes. This created two systems within the same chamber, one rule for legislation and another for the personnel who will implement it. At its core, the filibuster reflects a structural paradox. The rule was designed to protect minority voices and ensure careful deliberation. It also permits minority obstruction. The Senate tolerates both. This is not an accident. It is a historical bet that slower progress with occasional gridlock is preferable to majoritarian speed. Whether that bet remains sound remains itself a matter of debate.